guys, this is Nick from Stridewise.com, and I'm here with Mohsin Sajid, who is a denim professor, historian, consultant, like brand consultant, has his own denim brand. He also makes denim by hand. He is just an absolute genius, knows everything there is to know about denim and cotton, and we're talking about what's better than cotton, the better alternative to cotton, because cotton is amazing, it's fantastic, it makes terrific clothes, it's breathable, it's easy to turn into a huge variety of things, but it has a lot of links with like pollution, with soil degradation, really high water consumption. People convert habitat, like animal habitats, to grow cotton. There's also the increase of agrochemicals, like pesticides and that kind of stuff, which are a really big deal. So, and also cotton is the biggest profitable non-food crop in the world. If it's not food, then it's likely to be cotton. And it's an issue for a lot of people. Organic cotton is better. It has like over 90% less water usage, no agrochemicals, that kind of stuff. But among other potential issues with that is the fact that it's very hard to know for sure if it's organic, who's certifying it, blah, blah, blah. So Mohsin and I were chatting about this, and we wanted to talk about an alternative, which is all natural, and it's not made from like petroleum, like polyester or anything. And it's better than cotton. Like, it seems very hard to argue that it isn't. Mohsin, we're talking about Tencel.
Yeah.
What is it?
Okay, so Tencel is the brand name, but actually it's lyocell. So basically, it comes even cotton is actually cellulose based. So the ingredients are still the same, but with Tencel, and they get it actually from wood. So these are actually they get it from like sustainably grown trees. So these are trees that are made specifically for doing this. They're not trees that they've cut down forests. They're like sustainable sort of forests. They're all rain fed, so they're not gushing lots of water on these trees. It's like naturally rain fed, and they basically pound it into chips, and then they put it through a solution which is actually closed loop. So basically, when they pound it and pound it and pound it, and they give it this actual, they put the solution sort of into it, becomes this kind of gloopy dope. It's just kind of a like yellowy gold liquid. They actually put that through a process to convert it into fiber, which is this. This is actually Tencel lyocell here. And then once it's in this stage, you can spin it the same as like cotton. The amazing thing is, a tree, as you know, is like humongous, and it doesn't take much land to do it, so it keeps on going up. Cotton plants, obviously, you need a lot of land to harvest a lot of cotton. So actually, if you've got a sustainable forest and you cut down a few trees and it's for that purpose, you can get a lot of fiber really, really quickly. So, and you haven't used much water to do it.
Now, we should disclose here that Mohsin is a consultant for Tencel. But it's not so much that he was an employee at Tencel and then went out trying to make his bones as a professor to build his credibility. It's more like you spent like decades working in denim and cotton and all the rest of it, and then you came across Tencel and you were like, well, this is
I've
pretty
been
cool.
a denim designer for 20 years, and I've been using Tencel in my career for about 5 or 6 years. And the early stages of my career, I thought it was too like luxe, or too luxe, because most of the garments that are made with Tencel, they have a nice shine to them. And Tencel is as strong or stronger than like cotton, so it can like withstand all the harsh treatments that are laser or any of the harsh chemicals that you do with normal jeans. But the amazing thing is about it is you can now get a version which has got less shine. So you can actually produce fabrics now that look as like authentic as a regular like jean that sort of like you and I would like. So maybe 5-6 years ago it would have been a bit more lighter, but now we're developing collections with Tencel that are super duper slubby, and they're awesome and done with selvage as well. So it's like, actually, it makes sense that we should all be looking at more of these alternative fibers. I love cotton, don't get me wrong. If I could use cotton every day, I would. But I've come to the conclusion that actually, if I can wean myself off it, it's probably better. Because there's other fibers like Tencel and hemp and linen and all the other natural ones that we can use that could be a good like drop-in sort of replacement. But Tencel itself, it's great because you can still mix cotton with it. You can still even mix polyester with it. So it's a good fiber to mix other things with. So if you want that strength and the sustainable attributes to less water, Tencel is the obvious one.
I should make it clear, again, this isn't a sponsored video or anything.
No.
Mohsin and I, we kind of met through friends. We were doing a video about something else the other day, and he just kept on talking about Tencel. It's something that I've seen appear in, like on Taylor Stitch, they've got some Tencel fabrics, but I wasn't aware that it behaves exactly like cotton. Like now it does. Like again, a while ago they were used for more like dresses, like more like thinner, more flowery stuff.
Exactly.
But the technology is at a point now where you can make it do 100% of the things that cotton can do with a much lower economic, ecological.
Yeah. So
toll.
this is a jean that we made. It's actually like overall from a Japanese mill called Kaihara, and look at the slub pattern in it. Like, this is a fabric that a Levi's LVC or one of these brands would happily use. It's made in the same way. It's made on the same looms. So it's actually more and more people are understanding how to spin it, because the art of making fabrics is a whole 4-hour video like in itself. So so how they make fabrics is actually astonishing, and mostly to do with the spinning process. So if you've got a good spinner who understands the fiber, they can make a denim which is super like sort of like very very ring. Less salt and peppery. You can do loads of things with it. So we know now that because we can't just carry on using cotton and polyester, we can't. So this is something that's been around for like 30 years, like sort of already. It's coming to its own. You even get versions that have already been, dyed at the dope stage. So this is the same, pretty much the same fiber here. This is actually a sort of model. But it's the same kind of family. It also comes from the same wood chips, but they've dyed it. They've dyed the indigo sort of pigment in the actual solution stage when it's in the dope stage, and then they made the fiber. So when you do the normal process of making like fabrics, you basically produce your cotton and you spin it. You make the yarn, then you dye it in massive vats that are like double the size of this house. And these vats consume a lot of water. This process, 99% less water. And it
99%.
Yeah. So the solution, it might not be dope dyeing. This is something that's available now. Many people are looking into it, and many brands are experimenting with it to see if it can fade the same way. And the results have been quite positive. So obviously, all these sustainable solutions, sometimes you might not be able to get a very aggressive pant in it, or it might wash down slightly differently. And we just have to accept that, because we can't carry on using harsh chemicals to make our jeans. We can't.
Yeah, it's really worth emphasizing that. I mean, anytime I hear the words sustainable alternative or eco-friendly substitute, I'm like, okay, it's a substitute though. It's an alternative. It's not going to be as good as the original. But if you like, there are a lot of guys who get really, really into like very particular kinds of like Japanese denim and stuff on this channel. You might be here not really caring about denim that much, but the point I'm trying to make here is that every person in the entire world, minus some, but just about everyone, when you go outside, wears jeans, and whether you like regular plain smooth jeans most people wear, or if you're really into like the very thick slubby neppy sort of stuff that people pay a lot of money for, you can actually make both with Tencel. Is it more expensive?
Actually, to be honest, right now this second, Tencel is actually cheaper than cotton. Now, only because cotton prices are skyrocketed, and Tencel, because they make quite a lot of it, and they know the production cycle, they've managed to have quite an even,
more stable.
Yeah.
All right. So maybe it'll do this a little bit. But the point is, it's not a crazy difference. There might be no difference at all, and it might even be better.
It's not a crazy difference at all. And we're now designing. This is a collection that we did for Tencel, and we did it together with like Genealogia. They're a washing specialist, a sustainable washing specialist based in Spain. So this is the raw garment, and this is the washed one that we did, that used hardly no water at all. We used ozone to wash this. So basically, that's basically using the air particles to create water, and we put dirt in it, and we make these collections to show other designers you can use a Tencel denim and still have very sustainable finishes with it.
Now, I understand that when it comes from a forest, that the trees are grown with rainwater, so that helps with the massive water consumption.
Yes.
And but in simple terms, how is cutting down trees sustainable? Like, what's a sustainable forest? How does that work?
Okay, so these are forests that are also used for making paper. So there's big companies that basically have forests, and they grow forests only for making pulp. They're not forests that are been for millions of years on this earth. They're only there for one purpose. And these forests are sustainable. They have heavy sort of rotation. So basically they only whenever they cut a tree down, they plant loads more straight after, and it's like that. And obviously they got plants all over the world where they can actually produce this sort of fiber, from like Thailand to South America and even in like Europe. So hence their head office in Austria, and even in England they make this fiber. So as I said, it's 30 years old. It's coming to its own now. More and more people are realizing they can't carry on using the same old formula of making fabrics. And this is an example. So this particular fiber here, it won the Candiani mill in Italy. They made this actual fabric roll here. And they won the ITMA Design Award for this actual fabric. So this fabric here, just to explain what it actually is, it's got no raw cotton in it. It's got no virgin cotton. 50% 50% like refibra, and like refibra is basically recycled cotton mixed with Tencel. So it's used garments with Tencel, 50%, and the other 50% is lyocell as well. So basically, this does not use any cotton at all. So whether or not the solution is a non-cotton solution, it could be. But saying that, I think cotton is a premium article. It's not going away. But if we can have alternatives like this that don't use much water, still salvage, they wash amazingly well, why not?
Yeah, why not though? Like, I mean, I get that a few years ago, Tencel was like a bit too shiny, and that's something that they've sort of solved now.
Yeah, they solved it.
As someone who knows just about everything about cotton garments and pattern making, what are the downsides of Tencel?
The only downside I can see sometimes is when I started using Tencel 4 or 5 years ago, I thought it may be a bit too luxe, it may be a bit too lightweight, maybe I might not be able to get my perfect slub pattern from it. I've proven myself wrong. So I've developed fabrics that are 14 ounce, 16 ounce, 20 ounce using like a Tencel. So there's no reason why. It's just changing the mindset of people. That's all it is.
Can you trash talk Tencel a little bit, because I'm not getting any money for this video? To give me some credibility.
I don't think your credibility will be lost.
I'm not meaning for this to sound like an ad. It literally isn't.
No. If you trashed Tencel, you get many people trashing you. Honestly, I can't see anything wrong with it apart from the cutting down trees thing, but they get it from sustainable forests. So actually, and it's all FFC sort of certified. They grow it, they get it, and you can actually trace. And they also have a way of tracing exactly where it comes from. So if you got a garment, there's a device.
That's something that's a big issue with cotton.
That's a big issue with cotton.
Yeah.
There's lots of different ways they put a little bit of a fiber. They put something in the fiber, and even if it gets burnt, they can still trace where it comes from.
Wow.
But yeah, exactly. You know where this has come from. You don't know where cotton has come from some of the time.
Yeah, and that's something that gets a lot of brands in trouble, actually. Like Xinjiang cotton, that's like it comes from a place where China is committing very big human rights atrocities. And there are a lot of, I probably won't name them, especially because some of them have recently changed when they found out about it. But there are a lot of brands that were using Xinjiang cotton and didn't know about it. Or they did know about it. But in either case, like there's a lot of unethical ways to get cotton, and Tencel helps to get around that. And that's outside of the environmental issues.
I think that's the benefit of Tencel as well. You know exactly where you're like getting it. So with other types of fibers, it's quite murky. You don't know. There's traders involved. There's they have to sell the bales very quickly. They go so all this kind of stuff happens. So the great things about Tencel is you know where it's come from. It uses hardly a smidgen amount of water than it would do with cotton. It comes from sustainable forests that are in heavy rotation, and this company has got everyone looking at them, and also people trying to criticize them every five seconds. But they're holding their own. They're working with the best mills on the planet. I'm not even joking. The best Italian mills, the best Japanese mills, the best Chinese mills, the best Pakistani mills. Any denim brand you can think of, they're using Tencel. They're all waking up to it because it makes sense. Makes total sense.
Oh, all right. Well, I don't have any children. I have nephews, and my main concern for this next generation is that they're all going to die in water wars, and it's nice to hear. At the very least, this is the largest non-food crop, and it uses 99% less water. At the very least, that helps to move the needle just a little bit if there's more Tencel. And I say there's someone who doesn't own any Tencel clothes, but you know, I might stop rolling my eyes at it or looking quizzically when I see it in the
They
ingredients
make
list.
Tencel t-shirts too. So obviously, you know, this is a fiber that can be used for lots of things. So you know, it's just educating the designers and the buyers to move on to it.
Cool. All right. Well, Tencel. All right. Well, I'll look out for it. Are there any brands that are using Tencel?
Goodness me, loads of brands using Tencel.
Like well-known ones, like
Levi's use Tencel, Lee, all the main high street brands, even you know, you name a high street brand, they're using Tencel. Even some of the most premium brands, from Stella McCartney to J Brand, you name any denim brand, they've got Tencel in there for sure. And it's not just one garment; it's probably most of the garments, or at least half the collection.
Because it's cheaper as well.
Well, at the moment it's cheaper, but the cotton prices are like fluctuating. But right now, this second, this is slightly cheaper.
Cool. All right, sweet. Well, there it is. Tencel, your introductory guide to Tencel. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna look into it. Thanks for your time. This is Mohsin Sajid. His website is down below, and Enderime is his denim company if you want to check that out. Cool, sweet. Subscribe if you just got here, because there's lots of cool denim and boot and heritage fashion stuff coming up. All right. Okay.
Bye, guys.